episode 104, Husbands Tell All.
Bum, bum, bum. Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast, where you'll learn to save money, embrace simplicity, and live a richer life. Here are your hosts, Jen and Jill.
Welcome to the Frugal Friends podcast. My name is Jen.
My name's Jill.
And happy 2-year anniversary,
Oh my goodness,
Jill.
what did you get for me? You shouldn't
I
have.
got you nothing.
Yeah, I didn't.
I got you a place in my backyard.
I'll take it.
Yes.
I did take it already.
Yes.
That already happened. Happy
Guys,
2 years.
Happy 2 years. We've done who would have thought we would make it 2 years?
That's longer than most marriages.
For sure. Well, oh gosh.
I'm just throwing out stats.
Ooh, okay. Today's episode's super special. So if you were hoping to learn something about personal finance and frugality today,
Not today.
not today.
Well, you might. It's
Don't
baked
expect
in.
under promise, over deliver, Jill.
You're getting nothing.
You are getting nothing except the truth behind how Travis and Eric really feel about how they're portrayed, about frugality, about our relationships. Like, they're telling all.
And if you're curious what kind of booze we landed, check it out on YouTube and you can see their faces.
Straight tens.
Yeah,
Straight tens.
Dime pieces attract dime pieces. We all know
true.
that.
It's so true. But first, let's get into our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Empower. It's an awesome mobile app jam-packed with features to make managing your money easier. You can set monthly and weekly spending limits through its budgeting feature, and it analyzes your spending to auto-save small amounts of money to boost your sinking funds. What makes Empower really unique is its high-yield checking account and direct access to their financial coaches. So, have a question? Just text them and they'll answer during normal business hours when humans are awake on the West Coast. It has a ton of other great features too, so if you like the sound of that, download Empower from the App Store and use offer code FRUGAL to get a $5 bonus when you reach your first savings goal.
Nice. Also brought to you by The Better Half. In any whole, there is always a better half. This is true about sandwiches, bananas, shirts, and marriages. Today, you will meet our better halves, and then you'll know the right way to eat a banana.
Gosh.
I don't know.
No. You're my better half.
I was just writing this, and I don't know. My brain is fried.
Yeah.
And I wrote that, and I was like, that's good. That's good enough.
That'll be good.
What's your favorite part of a banana? The top or the bottom? Which half is better?
The banana.
The top or the bottom?
I don't understand what you're asking.
Okay.
Anyways.
My frugal friends do. Let me know.
All right. Well, let's not waste any time except for the whole hour that we're gonna waste talking to our husbands.
This is about right.
This is gonna be good. Well, we're super excited to have our men with us for this special 2-year anniversary Frugal Friends special. We've been doing this for 2 years.
So obviously our husbands are supportive.
And this is the #1 most requested episode of all time. So here we are.
3 people requested.
And we are answering the questions you asked us in our Frugal Friends community on Facebook.
Yeah.
So let's not waste any more time, and we will get right into it.
Perfect. So Stacy wants to know our love stories and how we met. So Travis and Jen, go first.
Okay. So Travis, why don't you tell from your perspective?
Yeah, well, it started off, I met Jen at my place. Well, it was where I was staying with a friend.
Outside your window, yeah.
Yeah, with a boombox. It was like the starting line video.
Okay.
No, but Yeah, I was. I got home late from work, and we had a movie marathon at my roommates had a movie marathon at my place, and Jen showed up, and I went to go get a drink of water before going to bed, and we had some conversation on.
Oh, okay. You intercepted his thirst.
He intercepted my thirst. So I was on my third glass of wine. So I was feeling good. I was feeling fine. And normally I wouldn't have talked to a guy, but
Ever.
But that night.
Yeah.
And yeah,
She had enough wine.
What
And
was
that's
the
how it
movie?
went.
Do you remember?
it was the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched it again since then?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Tonight.
Tonight. What time is it?
It's
only
too
9:30.
late.
Let's
Doesn't
go.
matter.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Go ahead, Bill.
We met at Jill's best friend's wedding, where Jill was the maid of honor. And I wasn't necessarily supposed to be there, but
I wasn't exactly invited.
yeah, so like this was on like what, a Friday, Saturday?
I
It was a Friday, I think the wedding was.
A weekend.
No, it was a
safe to
Saturday.
say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that Sunday before, the groom was like, "You should crash my wedding. That'd be so fun." And I was like, "I probably won't." And then Wednesday night, I got a text from my friend who was playing in the wedding, and he was like, "You have to come. They're not going to have sound, like a sound engineer during the ceremony." Right? The ceremony?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
And
I
he
did
was
that.
playing in the ceremony, so he didn't think about that.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
had to both do the sound and play. And he's like,
So-
oh crap, I need help.
Yeah, so I showed up, and Jill got me water, and I drank it.
Water, man.
Kind of there's a
Brings
theme
people
here.
together.
Hydration.
Yeah. And then I asked Jill to dance, and we went on a date 2 days later, and we got married a year later.
Yeah.
Nice.
He asked me to dance. The song was "At Last" by Etta James.
I tried to dance
I
with like a
know.
6-year-old girl, but she turned
How
me down.
Perfect.
Yes.
And right on.
Wow.
At last, my love has come along.
Yeah.
Apparently that song is kind of overplayed, so we have our moment a lot.
You
know?
always leave out. You always leave out the part that I did a rap, which is what really drew you into me.
Yeah, you can believe what you want to believe. You're just a dime piece. That's what I went for.
Yes.
Yes.
If you say it enough, he starts to believe you.
Yes. And then how we met was that I knew Eric. I didn't know him. I met him once in San Diego.
Sometime,
Very long a
someplace.
time ago. And then we became Facebook friends because that's what you do after you meet somebody one time.
Yes.
Facebook friends.
Obvi.
And then you guys were coming through St. Petersburg in your motorhome, and Eric was like, "Do I have any friends in the area that want to hang out?" And nobody responded.
Full knowing that I did. Just nobody
Just
responded.
a random post on Facebook.
Yeah.
Hoping
It was an
that
algorithm thing, I
certain
think.
people
They probably
would
just
see
didn't
it.
see it. Yeah.
They didn't. Jen did.
Yeah, for some reason, I've never seen. I don't think after I friended you on Facebook, I ever saw anything from you ever again.
Yeah, and if you did, it wasn't relevant.
Yeah, so
We didn't really know each other.
so I see this one thing, and I'm like, well, my friends and I are going to watch the sunset at this beach bar. If you guys want to come, and which is so unlike me because I don't talk to people. Like, I don't know if you got this vibe from me, but I definitely don't invite people to hang out for no reason. And so I did it, and they came for some reason.
Yeah, that's
that was
weird
the
part.
other weird part is that we showed up.
And we like showed up to St. Petersburg, like parked the RV, and we had like a little scooter we were using on the back of the camper, and like for Jill to say yes to this was like kind of crazy too, because it was like park 20 minutes, like get everything figured out, get the scooter off the RV, and like cruise to meet you guys.
For sunset.
And I remember you were pushing back a little bit, and you were like, oh, whatever.
There were plenty of times when I was just like, is this what we want to do on our vacation?
Yeah.
Like, go hang out with strangers? Like,
Yeah,
this
which
is
so
weird.
crazy, yeah.
They're going to think this is weird. This is weird. Why are we doing this?
But
What's your
But we
relationship
did.
like
But
with
we
this Jen
did.
girl?
Yeah, that was a question. Like, what do you
It was
mean
a
you met her
legitimate
one
question.
time? Like, what did you do during that one
it's a
time?
special
Yeah.
time.
It was
Yeah.
very special. It's a secret that Jen and I will hold to the grave.
Oh my gosh.
And the answer is, the real answer is, I don't remember.
Yeah, I just don't
remember
remember.
it.
That could be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
We
Kidding,
hit it off,
kidding.
right? You guys were in your debt payoff journey. We were doing crazy things to get at a frugal, minimalist lifestyle and to pay off debt. So
we bonded.
we were
over
legitimate
that.
friends, which
Yeah.
I think is always so funny when people write that on our on
Like,
reviews
yeah.
or different things where they're like, oh my word, they seem like real friends. It's like, well, yeah,
We are.
We are.
Yeah.
We're not like putting on a front where
Nobody's that good at acting.
where we called it frugal friends,
not.
but like it's strangers, and we're like trying to make this thing work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like business partners.
Yeah, we ended up hanging out every day. We ended up
Oh,
staying
yeah.
an extra 2 or 3 days, and we hung out every single day
Yeah.
of that.
And
which
we
was
were
really
so
crazy.
sad when you left.
Yeah.
That we went and visited you in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Twice.
You've
Yeah,
flown
twice.
up twice. We've come down. Who knows how
Twice,
long? Now we've been
yeah.
living in your backyard for 6 weeks,
And
close to 6 weeks.
we're
This Sunday
still
will
not
be,
tired of each other.
and we're sitting here doing a podcast together.
yeah,
So we'll
so
see.
that is
It's
our
getting weird,
lives.
for sure.
All right, let's get into these questions. So, well, that was one of the questions.
Half
There
of
it
it,
is.
yeah.
How we
one.
met,
Let's just do
how
it.
we all met, how
Number
we're all.
2.
Number 2. Mona asks, do you feel accurately represented on the podcast, Eric and Travis?
I feel represented well. I know everything Jen said. She's pretty
Detail oriented.
yeah, and she's compliments me a lot. So yeah, I guess I'm represented well.
Yeah.
Is it the compliments? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I guess it just makes me feel
Because I know
better.
he listens to every
Yeah.
episode.
That's why you listen.
Shout
man.
out to Travis. Happy birthday.
Yeah. It's still your birthday, right?
Yeah, we're still
birthday,
celebrating.
birthday couple
Yeah.
weeks. I
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
how it
Stretching
works.
that out.
Birthday month.
How about you?
I do. I don't always feel. I do, like if you listen to the podcast and everything you heard about me on the podcast, I don't think that means you know much about me.
Right.
But I don't feel like I'm misrepresented.
Oh, yeah,
I remember a couple times being like, I should edit this out.
Do
I have
you?
control in this
But
scenario. I have power.
sometimes you do, like,
Yeah,
use
oh
your
yeah, I
power
definitely do.
to-
Yeah.
Yes.
to
Yes.
influence the audience.
When I have time, I like to use
When he
that
has
power
time.
better. Yeah.
You usually don't even have time, and you're still adding in lightning noises that
Yeah, it's like
make
1 in the
me
morning.
laugh when I listen back. Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So, moral of the story is you want me to talk about you more.
Yeah, I think that's what I think you need
Okay.
to talk about me like a lot more so that people really get to know me,
Yeah,
like
that's the
they're listening
platform.
to me.
I'm
Yeah,
glad we got that feedback.
yeah, I think that's what the
Thanks,
show
Mona.
should be more
Good
about.
question.
All right, next is from Jocelyn. We want to hear all about Eric's cars and Travis's amazing hair.
What is there to say? I mean, look at it.
Look at this.
Yeah, let's talk about the hair.
He
Yeah,
cut.
It was much longer. Though.
Yeah, it was much longer
Yeah.
until I gave birth.
Yep, and
But it
then-
is gorgeous hair when it's
Still
long.
gorgeous.
Oh,
It is. And the beard. I like the beard better actually.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like
Nobody
this
really
look.
likes it though.
I like it.
I
You
can't
never asked.
picture
I like
you
it.
without it.
I like it when
so,
it's trimmed.
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's refocus the podcast onto. It's a beard podcast.
I think what Jocelyn's asking about the cars is probably the vibe. The episode where I talked about wanting to go down to one car.
Maybe
And you don't want to go down to one car.
I think that it sounds glamorous to go down to one car, but in reality, what that would mean is I stay home all the time. And I take one Uber and it costs $70 because we live in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just alone again.
Okay.
Do you
Uh,
feel
Get real.
alone often? Uh-oh.
I definitely don't get out much these days.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have a car, I'd get out. Even the one time a week I use it, I would not get out. I'd just be home.
Yeah. It's okay. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We don't need to
Wait,
hash it all out.
Yeah. Yeah.
She also
I'm
wants
down.
to know who
I-
sings the Bill of the Week song, which is also you.
It is me.
Let me hear more about that one.
No. What do you want to talk about?
Tell us about when you made the Bill of the Week
Oh, yeah.
song.
So
And the intro song. Like, all
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it.
you did our soundtrack. All of
Yeah.
it. And our
Yeah,
sound
like-
design, you edit, and all of it.
it's weird listening back and remembering that I was completely alone in my studio at like 10 o'clock at night. And like my studio wasn't completely soundproof, and so like people lived in the house kind of close by, and it's awkward to remember that I was like yelling things like, "This is the bill of the week," by myself.
Bill. Buffalo Bill.
It sounds exciting, but it was just me by myself, alone, trying to make this stupid thing work.
Which is so eerie when you scream and then it's dead silence.
Yeah, because like I have headphones on, so I'm like, yeah. Like, is there somebody behind the couch now? I don't know.
And we have you to actually thank for the Bill of the Week segment in like general.
I'm an ideas guy. You know what?
We were brainstorming. We were throwing things against the wall.
You came up with the podcast. You came up with the Bill of the Week. Like,
we do have this one to thank for Frugal Friends podcast.
I appreciate.
Yeah. There you go. I'm starting to talk about you more. Complimenting you like Jen compliments Travis.
Oh.
Okay, so Leslie asks, how do you balance what you and your spouse think is important to spend money on? Dun dun dun.
Well, Jen pretty much just tells me what to spend money on, so.
Just decides.
Not really.
That's not true.
I know. But, I mean, after paying off our debt, I think it's we're a lot more lenient on what we can spend, and but it all comes down to like communication and just like, hey, I'm gonna buy this. Is it alright with you? And then it's not. Oh well.
It's interesting. I think I've also seen the reverse of that for you guys to be talking about of how do you balance what to make money on. Like in some ways, like, can I sell this? How much should I sell this for?
Yeah,
should I take on more work if I'm able to? Like, I think it in some ways can flip for you both, which is interesting in these 6 weeks of being neighbors without borders.
We are very, I am kind of obsessed with making money, and that's something that I work through, like, emotionally, mentally.
Yeah.
Travis was making money yesterday.
I know.
Gets home from
Travis
work, he sells
things left
paddleboard.
and right. Yeah.
He's
always trying to sell things.
You get top dollar too.
You sold a bed yesterday?
I did sell a bed.
We sold our couch. We sold like tons of things since you guys been
here.
here.
That's what it looks like.
And people are coming for the very chairs we're sitting on soon, so let's keep it going. What do you think, Eric? How do we balance this?
I should have been thinking about that while Travis was answering. I mean, we do. I think same thing. We both communicate on and you don't buy anything, so this is literally a one-sided conversation. Like, Jill literally doesn't buy anything. I want to buy so many things.
I'm supportive of it though. Like, it's not that I'm okay with spending money. It's just I don't know what to buy. Which in some ways, that's a nice thing. But in other ways, it speaks to some of the lack of hobbies and skill set that I have. Like, you can always spend money on music equipment, and I'm supportive of that because you do dope things with it.
Bikes.
Whereas I'm just like, I don't know. I got a $50 gift card at Christmas from an employer, and to Amazon, right? Who wouldn't want that? And I still have not spent it yet because I literally don't know. I'm fine spending it, but I'm just like, what do I need? Erasers for my pencil? Literally.
You're more of a brain person. There's not many hobbies that go along with that. A brain? Do they call that? A brain person?
Sew.
That's a thing.
I can knit. I can crochet, but I have all the supplies that I need for that.
Yeah, and you don't spend any money. That's
it is. It's a negotiation.
At any given moment, I could go and spend $10,000 and just like still have things that I want. I never will because I'm also frugal.
What? Take away those air quotes.
I'm just kind of cheap. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really. I don't know if that answers the question, but communication, like. We just decide as we go. It's not like here's the question again.
How do you balance what you and your spouse think is important to spend money on?
Oh, well, I mean, if we're talking like the other person, like whatever's important to them. Like if something's
Mhm.
important to you and it was a couple $1,000s, I would want to figure out how to buy it because I trust that you're not just going to buy something flippant, like something that you really want or really need.
Yeah.
And I think that goes both ways. I just have a ton of reasons to purchase things because I have a lot of hobbies, but
That's interesting. I do think it starts at like believing the best in your spouse.
Mhm.
And that's a really important foundational thing. That's not present in a lot of relationships. But I think it starts at believing the best. So then we know that when we come to each other with like when we finally come to the point of, I think I want to spend money on this, then if you're saying that's important to you and you think that that'd be a wise decision, I want to support it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You never actually know what I end up getting because you don't even understand what it is.
I know, I don't.
That's the best part.
I don't even understand.
That's why
the
we
words
have
that
so
you
many
use.
mics
Yeah.
here.
I need inputs and plugins and phantom power and
You're using real terms.
they're
I'm
real
proud of
terms.
you.
I don't know
Yeah,
what I
that's
just
real.
said
We
though.
need phantom power for the thing on this mic.
Yeah, the inline pre.
And
good, yeah.
somehow tons of mics. We've got over 20 microphones and
Easy.
Yeah, we could have 16
we're
more people
not
on the
done
show.
apparently.
Right now.
Gosh no. Oh gosh no. That's a forever
Okay.
thing.
Patricia wants to know what's the craziest thing you've done in the name of frugality.
I don't know. I mean, for me, like I've been cheap my whole life, so I know that.
Is this an intervention for me and you, or just like cheap?
I think that's what it is. It's like, they want us to. So, yeah, I've done quite a few things like dumpster diving and I don't know. What do you think? Everything.
You pick up free stuff on the side of everywhere.
Yeah, not the road.
Not even just the ride.
The side
Yeah.
of every way.
Yes.
Like you brought in peanut butter and cans of black beans from the alley.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
that's
then
next
okay,
level for sure.
But did you eat it, Jen?
The peanut butter is actually in our cupboard.
So have I eaten it, Jen?
Jen,
Jen.
have we?
Jen,
Have
have
I
we
eaten the
eaten
alley
it?
peanut butter? No, we haven't.
That's amazing.
I would've
I think
eaten
the
it.
biggest thing there is that it probably doesn't strike you as anything crazy. Like dumpster diving is, why wouldn't you? Some person's trash is another man's
Exactly.
treasure.
Big things out of the landfill.
Yeah.
I no longer think these things are very crazy.
Yeah, I can't even think
Yeah.
of anything crazy.
I've
But I
definitely met
did.
crazier people
I'm
for sure.
broken. So
I'm broken.
I've been broken.
Oh man. Well, here we go. Make a podcast out of that one. What about you?
Oh crap! What was the question?
What's the craziest thing you've done in the name of frugality?
Oh gosh, I do stupid. I do things all the time. I don't know.
Make the Bill of the Week song.
Yeah, we'll do our own soundtracks. No, yeah. I mean, most of my life is trying to figure out how to do things for cheaper or for more inexpensive. But yeah,
Yeah, I
give me
think
some. What do
most
you
of
got?
it has to do with Craigslist transactions.
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace.
I think my mind goes to like the tentacles of what you've done in the name of frugality. Like, okay, Craigslist transactions, but you've actually maintained friendships through some of your Craigslist transactions, or like while you're doing something, you get into a conversation about something else, and then all of a sudden together you're fixing an engine. Like it has led to, I think, some community that's unexpected. But beyond that, I mean, I guess more obvious or normal to us, but a little more unusual is like the way that you got your vibe.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've done a lot of like trading work for goods, trading services for goods. It's economical.
Yeah. So let's clarify what services you traded for goods.
I did some flooring work and some tile work for our good friends,
Mhm.
and they gave me a Pontiac Vibe.
Yeah.
Kevin and Chelsea.
Yeah.
I still drive that car and I love it.
Yeah. That was one of the
Yeah.
best moves.
Mhm.
Work for a car.
Oh, like it worked out so good. I've barely put any money into that car. We're still friends with them.
Yeah. I mean, and it was your idea to live in a camper. So
Mm.
I'm going along with it and I love it, but that's yours.
And the reason we did that was Jill wanted to go back to school for a master's degree, and I said, how come we make that happen.
And then you shoved me in
And
a
3
little bitty living space.
3 weeks later.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
love
You wanna
tiny
get your
things.
mess?
There's
so
a-
it's
yeah,
perfect for you.
Right?
Sure.
She doesn't like to buy cheap things, or she doesn't like to buy things all the time. She just wants to buy degrees.
Yeah.
That's what's happened to. So it sounds like I buy a lot of things, but they're all under like a few
It's
$100.
true. I
Yeah.
have spent the most money out
It
of
was-
us.
it was
just
your debt
on
that you
a
paid
piece
off.
of paper.
Yeah.
2
That's
pieces
all
of
right.
paper.
Hmm.
Don't tell them that maybe someday there'll be another piece of paper.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
No, we're gonna put that on a shelf.
Okay, next. Virginia wants to know, what was the most challenging part of becoming frugal or along the frugal journey?
Challenging. I think for me, like I said earlier, I've always been like cheap or frugal in a sense of where I try to get the most out of everything, and but I think if I can change the question, I think the most challenging thing was trying to be my cheap self coming into marriage with you, and like you're more frugal and you're like, but I was like that extreme, like do
Which works when you're
Sleep
single.
on,
Yeah,
sleep
yeah,
on
like-
the floor,
yeah.
eat ramen every day.
yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
You did sleep on a futon chair at one point in some lady's trailer
I did.
before we met.
I did.
That
It's
was
a futon chair.
It's like a futon couch, but it's like a
But it's a
chair.
It's a Florida thing.
It's a Florida
Florida
man.
I've never actually seen it before until that time in my life.
yeah.
Whoa.
And so I value comforts and little luxuries, and I'm more than willing to pay for things that make my life easier.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Huh. That blending together.
Yeah, I think
Traveling
that was,
together was probably the most difficult for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was maybe the most challenging part on
because
the
I want
frugal
to do
journey.
everything that's free, and I don't want to pay for anything.
Yeah, you don't want to pay for anything, and that's when I want to spend the most money is while we're traveling.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't spend a lot of money day to day, but when I'm traveling, I really want to experience different places. And so
Yeah.
that's what we just had to figure out,
Yeah, that's
to do all-inclusive resorts and cruises,
Mm-hmm.
because then we're traveling, but we don't have to pull out our wallet as much.
Yeah.
Who
It's
doesn't
just like
that
a
work for?
psychological thing.
Yeah.
That works
You
for
learned,
everybody.
but that
Almost
honeymoon was.
Rough.
Yeah.
The honeymoon was rough. Ooh,
That was
we had some
rough.
good times. It's okay.
Good to be back.
rough.
What about you? What's been challenging on this frugal journey?
My entire life.
Oh my
No,
So dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when I started. I don't know when I started. It hasn't ended. I've just been going for it this whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
And it's challenging.
maybe I don't even know how to answer that because it's not challenging because it's just who I am. I think
Yeah.
I don't know how to like remember back to a time where I wasn't.
Yeah.
my
it's not
mom's
like
frugal,
You
my-
started. and
My
then-
dad's frugal. Like
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. Is that
Yeah,
good enough?
honestly, yeah, probably the spending of money, learning what to do when there is some resource and
Oh.
how to steward that well.
Right, when you can just buy anything, prioritizing. yeah.
Anything. We're not
I mean, when I can literally go out and buy anything like that.
Adrian asks, has your idea of style changed since being frugal?
I mean, I would say yes, because I know when I was younger, like middle school, like I'd want to buy stuff from the mall because I would want to go. But I think after high school
Mm-hmm.
or during high school, like my mom would take us to thrift stores, and it somehow clicked in my head where like it makes sense to buy things secondhand because like you can buy it way cheaper, sometimes good quality stuff, and
Heck yeah.
and you're not buying new, so you're keeping like you're not I guess, building more waste.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Keeping things out of the landfill.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
but style,
I always
I-
looked good.
No,
I mean-
that was real. Like, he's always been a good dresser.
Yeah.
I always liked buying clothes, but since high school I've never bought, like, I not never, but I like barely buy new. I always buy secondhand.
What about what you wore on your wedding day?
That was my suit that I when I was working in Virginia, I worked for J. Crew, and there you get a discount, they're like allotment card where you get like 50% off cards, and then they have this shop, I guess, and once a month I think it is, or once every other month, they have like a like where they have samples and stuff where they put on the rack for just employees, and it's it's like 75% off. So I use it. I bought like a $500 suit for like $25.
Gee.
Nice.
Somebody
That's
needs
what
a
you
part-time
want,
job
right?
at J. Crew.
So, yeah.
Oh
That's
man,
awesome.
what about for you, Eric? Has your idea of style changed since becoming frugal?
Oh yeah. If we can change out the word frugality for minimalism, then yeah, a big time. Like, I used to just buy clothes that I liked, and now I buy clothes that actually match, that actually go together. You know, like if you have I was at, I think it was J. Crew.
Yeah.
Somebody owes us sponsorship money. And I had a green pair of pants that I went up to the register with, and Jill was like, "Yeah, those are cool. You know they're green, right?" And I was like, "What? Yeah, because so I'm colorblind. That's probably good information to know." And yeah, and those pants were really cool, and I liked them, but they weren't gonna go with at least 50% of my wardrobe.
Yeah.
And at that point, it doesn't make any sense to own them because I only have a few pair of pants. So
Yeah.
just simplifying and like, what's the word? Capsule. Like,
Yeah, capsule
thinking more,
wardrobe.
and I don't do that, but like thinking more in that mindset.
It practically is.
Mhm.
You've really pared down your wardrobe, even within the last year. More and more, I'm seeing you really narrow in on the things that you like, getting pieces that all match. No matter what, you can grab whatever from your closet.
Yeah,
your,
for the most part, yeah. I'm
your
still trying.
tiny space that I give you for your clothes.
You have the same tiny space.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Minimal.
Okay, so two more quick ones. Jay asks, what financial goals do you have for yourselves?
Individual, like just me, or for us?
I don't know. Speak your truth.
Let's see. I guess mainly retirement. Focusing on Kai's future.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a house, we have those things, and we paid off our debt. So I mean, just I guess those two things. Not really any specific goals besides like maybe
Long-term.
cruises and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But
I
That's a
think we're
financial
still recovering from paying off our debt. It
Okay.
as weird as that is, but we went really hard for 2 years. And at one point I had shingles because of the stress. And so it's been it's been 2.5 years now. So we're focusing on putting as much toward retirement as possible. But other than that, like, we are enjoying all of the extra money. We're not trying to pay off our house early or, max out like Kai's 529. I don't know if you can max it out, but
I don't even know what it is. Kai doesn't either.
so yeah, like,
yeah, sure.
we're enjoying it,
Yeah.
and having some freedom.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you guys are just living extravagant lives because of it.
How about my
Obviously.
Porsche in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll post a picture of this setup
Yeah.
You'll
Oh,
see.
yeah,
You'll see the reality.
I have two. Personal is I've been selling off a ton of music equipment to kind of like, it's stuff that I've had for years and it's really nice stuff, but it's not really what I want. And I've kept it because I know it's really nice, and you know, it's just like why go through the hassle. But recently I decided to just kind of like get rid of everything that's not exactly what I want, and that'll be more than enough money when I sell all that, and then actually buy the things that I want. So that's like, I have multiple drum sets. I'm going to sell all of them and get one that I actually want.
Which has been funny because as you've posted these things online, friends have actually reached out to you, being like, Eric, is everything okay? Like, we see that you're selling all of your music equipment. Like, are you doing all right?
Yeah.
Like if you know Eric, he has always played music. Like, as long as I've known him, he's had some sort of recording studio. And so to see him just like posting music equipment after music equipment, people are like, oh my gosh, what's happening with you and Jill?
The text literally read, "Are you good? Saw you posted a bunch of guitars on Facebook." That's what, I was like, maybe not.
Sell all the music equipment.
It's just like really paring down and simplifying so that your recording process can be more simplified. And
and at the end of the day, I don't have a space that's mine. Like, we're renting places, and I get tired of moving everything, and if I don't use it in the time that I have a new space and we're moving to another space, like, I'm probably not going to use it. Like, get rid of it. So yeah, just kind of quality over quantity with that. But then more long term, like our goal as a couple, I would say, is to buy a house. So, and that honestly has pared down my wanting to spend on other things, because I really like to have my own space for my stuff.
living my best
Which is,
journey.
Yeah, this is Jill's ultimate dream coming true.
I've always felt like it's me kind of just trying to like hold in the floodgates of all the money you could possibly spend on music equipment. Not that you're frivolous, but again, going back to our conversation earlier, I don't understand the words that come out of your mouth that you want to buy. So I'm just like, I don't know, do we need that? And like, you need more preamps, you need phantom power, like you need this, you need that. You
buy phantom power.
Well,
obviously,
I don't know. Can you?
You can, and I do have an external box
and
for
then
it,
you
so I
can
guess
tell me it's $5,000, and I'm like, I don't know. I just gotta hold it all in. I gotta rein it all in. So it's been interesting to like have a shared mutual goal and see what that's producing in our relationship.
Yeah, nothing but love. That's what it's producing.
Well, one final question is from Caroline, and she asks just a riveting, thought-provoking question.
Something I struggle with every day.
How do you guys handle the fame of your wives?
You know, I
take your time.
Turn to some things that you know. Oh gosh, it's just, you know, I created them. So, what did Frankenstein do with his robot monster?
Frankenstein
thing?
was the monster.
No, it wasn't. Frankenstein was the doctor.
It was Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, Dr. Frankenstein. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to Google it.
And then
maybe just,
or it was Frankenstein.
Probably, it's German, right?
Yeah.
But what was the name of the monster?
I don't know if the monster.
I think it was the monster.
Yeah, it was just like. They were like, "Hey,
somebody's gonna have to tell us the real story about this.
We'll figure that out in the end.
Please in the comments.
Yeah.
Well, you know what we don't have to figure out.
Wait.
I didn't answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to know how he deals with the fame of his wife.
That's true.
Actually, I'm super proud of Jen. So like, I know like she's super famous in the Frugal Friends
super
area, in the podcast, but like at work and all my friends, I always tell everyone like, hey, my wife, she's an author. She hosts her own podcast, and all these things, and like. It makes me feel good about my life because my wife is famous.
Yeah, she's doing something that she loves.
Yes,
and she's
they
crushing
praise you at the gates, Travis, because of your wife.
That sounds
like literally, he has to go to Gates at his work. He's an airplane mechanic. That analogy works.
I know. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
now
sweet. Yes.
we can do another analogy that works.
That was
Just
not
the
hard.
thing that works every time. The
Bill of the
week.
That's right. It's time for the best minute of your entire week. Maybe a baby was born and his name is William. Maybe you paid off your mortgage. Maybe your car died and you're happy to not have to pay that bill anymore. Duck bills, Buffalo Bills, Bill Clinton. This is the bill of the week.
So you know what the bill of the week is. We don't have to explain it to you. But if you're listening the first time and somehow you made it to this part of the podcast, we ask our guests to share their favorite bill with us. And we'd like both of you to share your favorite bill. So what'll it be,
On
boys?
the spot.
Well, my favorite bill, so it's more like a bill of a lifetime, I guess, because it's my grandfather. His name is Bill Smith, and he just, like, my grandfather and my grandma, like, took care of me and my sister when we were younger, when my parents got divorced, and so they were kind of in our lives all the time. So,
Aw.
but yeah, my grandfather's done so many awesome things. He was in the Korean War. My grandma actually wrote a biography on him. And,
Whoa.
yeah, and so yeah, I love him. And
Dude.
What an
Bill of
amazing-
Good guy.
Life.
Sentimental. Like, that's amazing,
It's
Travis.
just gonna be the bill of the week. The bill. That's the bill.
He
now.
is the bill.
He is
bill.
the bill. That's incredible.
Follow that up.
Mine is my great grandfather. Mine is Bill Watterson, who is the writer of Calvin and Hobbes, the creator writer,
Oh.
and he is the best.
Wow.
And if I didn't have Calvin and Hobbes, I wouldn't know how to read, probably.
Incentive to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
works.
a great
There you
comment.
go. For all you parents trying to teach your kids to read,
Yeah.
try
Yeah,
comics.
Yeah, like short blurbs.
Mhm.
And like it's not this like big
With
page.
pictures.
Yeah, I loved it. I still love reading comics.
Yeah, we have a whole volume set in Kai's room.
No way.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, one of our Airbnb guests gave it to us.
Yes.
Wow. My parents were getting rid of those books recently, and I was like, well, I'll just use them online or find them online. They're not online.
Really?
They're actually like pretty hard to come by. Yeah. So I kind of wish I kept them, but
Well, you
I
can
don't really
look
keep
at ours.
anything. Yeah. I'll just borrow yours.
Well, if you all want to leave us a bill, whether it's sentimental and super kind, or if it's how you learn to read,
is
somehow
dumb.
related to a bill, we want to hear it. So leave us your bill at frugalfriendspodcast.com/bill. There's an option right there to leave us a message, and we'd love to hear it.
Yes. All right, let's wrap this thing up. It's the
Lightning round!
All right, for today's lightning round, we are asking the guys what their best frugal tips are.
Mm.
Oh, jeez. Put it on the
Yeah.
spot. On the
I
spot.
know.
Did you write any notes for
You
me?
looked at this ahead of
I
time.
know, I did too. I didn't get that far, honestly. I learned how to read because of Calvin and Hobbes, okay? I don't read that well. I give up.
What do you think,
So,
Travis?
frugal tips. Wow, that's pretty. Well, one frugal tip for married couples, I would say, something that like has really been a huge part of our frugality is to find someone like equal to your mindset of like frugality, or someone that's willing to kind of change their mind, or to to be as frugal.
Meet in the middle. Kind of
Meet in the
thing.
middle, yeah. 'Cause,
Wait, this is a dating tip?
It's a
I
frugal.
guess.
Yeah, sure.
It's
dating
something that
tip.
like I found that
Mhm.
like if Jen wasn't frugal, or if she wasn't like how she
down
is.
to eat peanut butter from the alley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Then,
down for
like,
alley
Get
peanut butter.
out.
Like, it would be really rough on our relationship because
Yeah,
like,
it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
it'd be rough. She would
Constant.
like if someone's spending and the other one's
Yeah.
trying to save. Definitely like in our debt payoff journey,
Mhm.
it would have like never worked.
But I wasn't for it in the beginning. You had to get me on board.
I did, but you were super easy to get on board.
Which is kind of amazing. So, would you say
That was
that
easy.
Travis created you?
Yeah. Are these the Frankensteins?
Who's the
Because that's like your
Frankenstein?
life now. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
How
No.
did he get you on board?
So it was when we were engaged and we were talking about our debt, and he said, as soon as we get married, I want to pay off our debt. And I said, no.
I'm trying to go on some all-inclusive
As
vacation.
soon as we
Yeah,
get married, we're going on a
exactly.
honeymoon.
Exactly. I was like, I don't want to live my 20s under a rock. Like, I don't want to waste the best years of my life paying off debt.
I like 30s.
And, well, I didn't know what my 30s would be like.
I didn't know that number yet.
Yeah.
I couldn't count that
I
high.
didn't get that high.
Yeah, he made me more forward thinking. I had this mindset, which a lot of people in the middle class do, is to like live for today, make do for today, the next year. But really, I didn't have the capacity to think that I could have a better life than what my parents had. And he inspired me to say what I wanted out loud and to believe that I could get there.
Wow.
Like,
So
I
you
don't-
could
all I
say-
said was I'm thirsty and I need some water. That's what you heard, though. All
That's
right.
what you heard? Okay,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Wow. All right.
I
Beat
love
that.
Same question
Yeah.
to me.
Best frugal.
Best frugal.
Like what? Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some ways you get at frugality?
I research until my eyes hurt. Like
Yeah.
everything. Like I never buy anything for unless I've done the research and I know that it's never going to be cheaper than it is. Like I'm going to get it cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Like and that's like compromising if it's new or not. That's spending just hours on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, which I do enjoy doing. It's not like this thing where I'm like dreading it. Like I enjoy like watching, I mean, for lack of a better term, the market on things. That makes me sound smarter than I am. But yeah, just kind of watching, like when we buy our camper or when we bought our camper and our motorhome, I had been watching them for a long time to see what they sell for, and then when the right deal popped up. And so another thing would be patience. You know, just seeing what you want but not needing it right away and kind of taking your time towards it. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any good way to do it other than just spending the time and like figuring out how much things are selling for.
Yeah, I think it seems normal to you, but I do think it's a skill that needs to be honed in and that most people don't do. It's like, yeah, I looked up a couple different products. This seems to be the best one. Boom, I'm buying it. Whereas you take it to the next level and we reap the benefits of it. But I think people see some of the choices or decisions that we've made and it's like, oh yeah, I want to do that, and without realizing like to get a $200 washer dryer combo LG, I mean, for $200 we waited a year and a half. And you were constantly looking and checking to see if anything was posted on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. And so like it takes dedication to get the really good deals and also to know what you're looking for. I think that's the biggest thing we don't have time for in this episode, but like I think you've honed in some skills on even how to look for what's actually a good deal, what's not, how do you spot a fake or a fraud, like I think there's a lot more to be said. But you learn that in research and patience.
Yeah, I even call Eric whenever I'm looking at buying like a big vehicle.
A lot of people call Eric
I'm
when
like,
they're looking to
"Is this
buy
all right?"
something. Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, because even if he's not currently looking for that thing, he has looked for that thing in the past and like
That's
can
probably
rattle
true.
off like, look for this, got to check that, and so he's on his phone a lot, but yet we reap the benefits.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of also just have to always be doing something too. Like
Yeah.
people are like, just rest though, just sit and rest. Like when I do that, I hate it. So why would I do that?
This is my rest.
Let me be me.
Doing research.
That's the moral of the story. Let me be me.
That's it. That's the
it.
title of this episode.
Yeah.
Officially.
I hope you all got what you wanted from our husbands.
Probably
Yeah.
not. Probably not.
Probably
Yes,
tons
if
more.
This is the last time you'll see that.
If you have more questions that weren't answered, Eric and Travis are both in our Frugal Friends community. So stop by and ask them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
maybe they'll
that's a great
answer
idea.
you.
Yeah.
Just put our,
Maybe.
put our name in where it's highlighted in black. I don't know what that is
Oh,
called.
tag.
Tag on. Tag on. Tag on.
Travis clearly knows how to respond to you.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll respond. What is that on? Is that on the internet?
Book of
Right, y'all.
Faces.
That it.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much if you are still listening to this episode.
You made it.
You made
There's
it.
no real prize for you.
Nope, but you did get to hear all about Travis and Eric.
Yeah.
And you
All
got,
about them.
you got to hear their podcast debut, which I think was even more special. And their YouTube debuts. I mean, really.
What if they become more famous than us? Whatever. We can't go there.
Can't
Not
happen.
now anymore.
Not happening.
Yeah.
So, thanks again for listening, and definitely thank you for your kind reviews as well.
Yeah.
Keep leaving them on iTunes and Stitcher. Reviews kind of like this one from Vera 6am. It says, very relatable. It's 5 stars. And she says, I'm so glad I found this podcast. It's very relatable and very real. Usable information. Thank you. She left that before this episode came out. For sure. So
This is for our friends, like the
Yeah.
people in the community that are curious about our husbands.
it was our most requested episode to date.
Yeah, it
So
So
there we are.
we gave the people what they wanted.
Yeah.
So we want to say thank you to our friends who share these episodes on social media. So when you share the latest episode and tag us on Facebook or Instagram, that automatically enters you into our drawing for a $10 Amazon
Yeah.
gift card.
And normally we say you have to share the current week's episode, but like you don't have to share
This
this week's
week,
episode.
you can share any episode.
You can share any episode you want. It's our 2-year
It's
anniversary.
all right. We're doing
like,
what we want.
we do what we want. We are the bosses. So definitely screenshot those reviews when you leave them and send them to frugalfriendspodcast@gmail.com. Tag us at Frugal Friends Podcast when you share on Facebook or Instagram. And let us see it. We want to know.
Bye. See you next week. How has it been for you guys, us living in the backyard?
Well, with that crazy music blaring.
I've loved it. I think I was telling you yesterday, like, we are built for community, and the fact that you live so close, but not in our house,
Yeah,
Mm.
that's the key.
we've been thriving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love how we like share dinners every
Yeah.
night.
Yes.
Yeah, my mom asked, like, so are you guys getting together? And I was like, most nights.
I feel
Most
kind of,
nights we get together.
Like, yeah, I
I
think
feel
when you-
incomplete if I don't see you.
Yeah, I'm like, when you guys don't come over, I'm like, do they hate us now?
Are they not
Did we
gonna-
do
So now it's becoming
Are
another
they
issue.
sick of us?
Yeah.
And so that's how I feel. It's kind of like, we've become neighbors without borders.
Yes, that's
That's
the
what we're calling
hashtag.
it, neighbors
Yeah.
without borders.
We just, we come up to each other's doors and sometimes we knock.
I mean, Kai's my best
Sometimes we
friend.
just open
What?
it.
Yeah.
I don't know why this seems weird to you. Guys.
Kai
Like, we
has-
have to hang out. every
Yeah,
day.
you and Kai have become best friends.
I do.
We speak the same language.
Yeah.
And
And
nobody
he
else
talks
speaks.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only time. The only consistent thing you can get out of Kai is no matter what mood he's in. If I go, da 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 da, he's like, da da da.
He has a real conversation
Something's
with
happening.
You.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
I've loved it too.
9
It
months.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone by super fast. Also, the sharing of the meals, having instant friends.
Mm.
more work on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's been
I mean,
yeah,
and the weather.
inspiring.
That's been great.
Oh yeah.
And help on all the house projects.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this couch in our living room would not be here without you, Eric.
It would most
It
definitely
almost
not.
wasn't here with me and Travis. That is the heaviest couch
I know.
ever.
I helped him get it out of the truck, and I was like, well,
Yeah.
I'm helping you get it out of here.
I can't believe that you did. That just goes to show how strong you are. You know,
CrossFit.
as a person. Yes, CrossFit.
CrossFit.
That's it. That's not even a compliment to you. That's a compliment to CrossFit.
CrossFit should be sponsoring us. You're
Yeah.
gonna say those nice
What's your
things.
gym called? They can sponsor. If you say the name, they have to sponsor. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, CrossFit Skyway.
Yeah, now they're legally
Done.
obligated to give us
Bound.
money.
They gotta give us
Yeah.
five-
Let's
five
raise our
grand.
rates before we tell them too.
Or just free CrossFit.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this has been fun.
It has.
but now we're done.
That's it.